Blessed Lord, brothers and sisters, this is not a Shabbat lesson. This is an impromptu video. I'm going to title it, Elohim is not mocked. Yahuah is not mocked, brothers and sisters. Right? Part 2. Right? I did the first one. I did the first video with Brazil and how the Most High washed them away with a flood, a mini flood, for the mockery and the contempt. Right? Celebrating their pagan feast day and worshiping the devil. Right, brothers and sisters, in this clip you're going to see a snippet of that also. Right? I mean, throughout the video, they're going to reference their pagan religion, Christianity, or reference back and forth with Christianity and Christian. And we know, their foundation is very shaky and based on ideology and angel and saint worship and the tradition of men. That has nothing to do with scriptures, neither anything to do with so-called black people. You understand, brothers and sisters? Right? So this is what taking place all over the earth. The Most High is acting on our behalf now. He's coming to our rescue. He's coming to our aid, brothers and sisters. You see all over the earth, hurricanes, tornadoes, the tsunamis, fires, pestilence, brothers and sisters. You see the fire in Canada, right? How the forest over there is burning down, right, brothers and sisters? Even the smoke reach onto Chicago, right? But we live on a spinning ball, right, brothers and sisters? Spinning mid space, right, brothers and sisters? Right? Is that what they want us to believe? We live in an enclosed ecosystem, flat earth. That is why the smoke can reach Chicago, right? So wars, rumors of war, earthquake, and diverse places, these things are fulfilling. The Most High is acting on the behalf, and many of you so-called black people are going to get caught up in the destruction because you won't separate yourself from your oppressors. You won't cure yourself from circumcision with the word of the Most High and his commandments. You refuse to be humble. You refuse to love your neighbors as yourself. You refuse to love your enemies within Israel, Yashrael. Refuse to change your heart of stone to a heart of flesh. And the only way that could happen if you come back to these commandments. So Yahushua can work on your stony heart and chip away with the chisel of righteousness and his commandment and his word and form it into flesh, that you may understand, that you may have compassion. But it doesn't mean that you are weak mentally. It doesn't mean that, because the Most High tells us that he does not give his children a spirit of fear, but of sound mind and doctrine, and that doctrine is the commandments and the word. Okay, brothers and sisters, so let's put this video in context before I show it to you. Right, let's look at the screen, brothers and sisters. We're going to go to Galatians from the Sefer Bible, right? Galatians 6, 7 to 17, right? Be not deceived, Elohim is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. For he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption. But he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap everlasting life. So the spirit we are reaping is keeping the commandments, living an upright and just life. You understand? That's the spirit, right? That's the spirit we sow it, to reap everlasting life, right? What is sown to the flesh? Lust, the love of the world, your own ideology, your own tradition, your Sunday worship, the pagan holidays they give you, your Halloween, your Christmas, your Juneteenth coming up, that is coupled with, the homosexual and lesbian and gender month, transvestite, pedophile month. Eventually, as time go by, it's going to be smeared. We're not supposed to be celebrating no Juneteenth crap anyways. You understand? But you love the world and you love all things massa. right? You love them folks, right, brothers and sisters? Right? Verse 9, and let us not be weary in well doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. Right? So we gotta endure so we won't faint not, right? As we have therefore opportunity, let us do good unto all men, especially unto them who are of the household of the faith. Israel, Yashrael, Hebrews, descendant of Hebrew slaves, right? Ye see how large a letter I have written unto you with mine own hand. As many as desire to make a fair shew in the flesh, they constrain you to be circumcised, only lest they should suffer persecution for the cross of the Mashiach. For neither they themselves who are circumcised keep the law, but desire to have you circumcised, that they may glory in your flesh. But Elohim forbid that I should glory, save in the cross of the Adonai Yahushua Mashiach, by whom the world is crucified unto me, and I unto the world. For in Mashiach Yahushua neither circumcision availeth anything, nor uncircumcision, but a new creature. And as many as walk according to this rule, peace be unto them. Right? As many as walk according to this rule, shalom be on them, and mercy upon the Yisrael of Elohim. From henceforth let no man trouble me, for I bear in my body the marks of the Adonai Yahusha. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Let no man trouble you. Hallelujah. Beat down all your enemies before you in Yahusha Mashiach name. Right? On that note, brothers and sisters, Baruch Shalom. Watch this video and like, share, and subscribe, brothers and sisters. It's free.
2 days after a Massachusetts church celebrated Pride Month, it was struck by lightning and burnt to the ground.
Well, lightning may have sparked this awful church fire in Spencer. There goes the steeple. Took several fire crews from around.
And this fire may have started with a lightning strike.
Fire engulfed a centuries-old church. Now take a look. According to the church's website, the congregation dates back to 1743. If you, that is 280 years ago. A lot of rich history in this one church right here. Officials think the church was struck by lightning.
In a world rife with cynicism and unbelief, instances of divine intervention often go unnoticed or are written off as mere coincidences. But when a 160-year-old church burns to the ground following a lightning strike, mere moments after its pastor openly rejects the divine origin of the Bible, one can't help but see a higher power at work. The
Atlantic Health System is your guide to a healthy
Church of Spencer, Massachusetts, a long-standing beacon of faith with a history dating back to 1743, was suddenly struck by a bolt of lightning, which set the entire building aflame, decimating it completely. This shocking event occurred in the middle of the day, a fiery sword cutting through the skies above the church and reducing it to smoldering ruins. The church's tower, proudly standing since 1863, collapsed under the fierce blaze, leaving the onlookers in a state of horror and disbelief. Many believe this is the handwriting of God on the wall, especially after the pastor made mocking remarks about the Bible.
How do we look at this stuff here? Why are there all those contradictions in the Bible? Well, because it was written down by people over a period of about 1,500 years. So given that, people are going to have different kinds of things. And I am one who does not believe it was dictated by God.
This claim strikes at the very heart of our faith. And it is indeed a tragedy to see a shepherd of the flock casting doubt upon the divine word that he's been tasked to teach. Our faith stands resolute on the incontrovertible truth that the Bible is not a product of mortal minds, but a divine transcript inspired by God himself. To deny this fact is not merely an affront to Christian beliefs, but a blatant disregard for the multitude of evidence that stands in support of this truth.
Historical documents are actually affirming the biblical story. So the text from the Bible is as clear as it gets. But we, historians, can actually prove it by using outside information, which we cross with the Bible. It's like an amazing crossroad. We stand on a specific side and say, wow, this is where it all took place. This is a bulla, which is an impression.
B-U-L-A?
Correct, coming from ancient Greek, which stands for an impression. The bulla, which we've just seen right now, belongs to a certain minister in the kingdom of Zedekiah. The guy is called Yahuah, son of Shlemiyahu. If we remember, this guy actually grabs Jeremiah by the arm and throws him to the pit when Jeremiah prophesies this terrible prophecy that he gives Zedekiah, that his sons and daughters will be slaughtered in front of his eyes.
This is King Zedekiah.
So this is King Zedekiah. And the guy who actually was performing as a minister in his kingdom sends us regards from the grave and say, hello guys, that is me, you're the one you're reading about in this bulla. So actually each and every one of those bullas for us is regards from the Bible. It's like affirming complete chapters and stories from the Bible, which we as historians can touch base with. And this is a 2,600 years old ancient document. And if we may move to the other picture that I can show, the ancient pool of Siloam, this is during the beginning of the excavation. What we see right now is when it just started out. We need to remember the pool of Siloam, which is mentioned right after the inscription of Siloam, actually started with Hezekiah, but it became a lot more famous in the time of King Herod. We learn from Isaiah, if I remember correctly, Isaiah 8, he says the water of Siloam are flowing gently and slowly. You're actually looking right now at an amazing inscription in Hebraic, 6 rows of ancient Hebraic letters that are commemorating the enterprise that was done by Hezekiah's quarrymen that were digging Hezekiah's tunnel.
Now, what year is that,
This is 705 BCE. 705 BCE, that's the great revolt against the Assyrian king who comes to try and conquer Jerusalem, eventually to be sent by Isaiah, the famous prophet. But we're looking at a playground, if I may call it that way, when
Jesus performed a miracle here.
Only 2 miracles were performed by Jesus within Jerusalem. You're looking right now at the place that was actually stepped by Jesus and his disciples, because this is the pool of Siloam.
Most times we fail to understand that our actions and words have repercussion. This wasn't just any church. The first Congregational Church had a rich history in the town, constructed on land generously donated by a prosperous Cambridge merchant, Nathaniel Cunningham. The current church was a result of years of rebuilding and expansion, even surviving a previous fire in 1862. Post the merger in 1968, it became a part of the United Church of Christ. Ironically, the church is also known for its participation in Gay Pride Month, promoting an inclusive approach under the ambiguous slogan, "Love always wins." They even urged Congress to support the Equality Act, stating that all individuals, regardless of their sexual orientation or gender identity, possess sacred dignity and worth. But does this inclusive approach align with the teachings of the Bible? Or has the church deviated from the traditional Christian faith? Scriptures warn us against disregarding the Word of God. Galatians 6:7 says, "Do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows." These instances raise questions about whether the lightning strike was a mere natural phenomenon or a divine warning to those who have strayed from the traditional Christian faith.
This church was built in 1743 originally, and guess what? It was burned down. It was then rebuilt and reopened in 1862. This church has been around since 1862, and literally 48 hours after it celebrated Pride, it was struck by lightning and burnt to the ground. And I ain't no prophet or anything. Somebody seems upset. That's all I'm saying.
The Bible has often symbolized lightning as a divine weapon, an expression of God's wrath against sin. Can this church's tragic end be seen as a message from God, a warning sign of judgment to those who dare to challenge his word and commandments? Not too long ago, a video surfaced showing lightning striking the iconic statue of Jesus in Brazil, an event that stirred much debate. The statue as an idol or graven image, a concept strongly discouraged in the Bible. Additionally, a separate video clip captured a renowned false preacher known for uttering controversial and disrespectful remarks about Jesus.
Sex before marriage is not necessarily sinful. The Bible doesn't say sex before marriage is sinful.
This individual is widely considered a false teacher. The clip dramatically illustrates a moment when he is compelled to stop his misleading sermon.
It's something to teach the church about dying to self, about new life, about...
God's judgment, okay?
While the church's stand on inclusivity may resonate with the modern progressive world, we must ask ourselves if we're losing sight of the core teachings of our faith. Is the lightning strike on the First Congregational Church a wake-up call, a divine directive urging us to reflect upon our path, our faith, and our relationship with God? As the smoldering ruins of the church remind us of the transitory nature of worldly structures, let's take a moment to reflect on our beliefs. It's high time we asked ourselves, are we listening to God's word, or are we choosing to mold his teachings to fit our personal biases and preferences? Let's also take it as an opportunity to reassess our faith, realign with God's teachings, and strive for a deeper, more profound understanding of his word. As the First Congregational Church of Spencer begins its journey to recovery, we must remember that our faith isn't bound by walls and towers. It resides within us, in our hearts, and our actions. Let this be a time of renewal, a time to come together in prayer, humility, and repentance, a time to remember that God's love always wins, but his justice and righteousness will prevail too.